Sometimes evil doesn't hide in the dark, but in the sunlight. It smiles, waves to the neighbors, and lives in a house with a white picket fence. Every summer in the small town of Haven Pines, Minnesota, tourists come to stay by the lake. Houses are rented out, kids splash in the water, and locals rejoice in the extra income. But there's one house that no one has rented since 2002. House number 17 on the Eastern Shore. It stands empty and has no buyers because a woman went missing from that house in 2002, and in 2014, another one. The story of this family and these disappearances is still considered the most mysterious case in the county. But the strangest part is that both women disappeared from the same room, leaving behind the same sign. The Marshall family rented a lake house in the summer of 2002. The mother, father, and their 9-year-old daughter, Emma. The head of the family, Robert Marshall, worked as a lawyer, and his wife Kathleen taught English literature at college. The house was cozy, 2 stories, with a veranda and access to the water. Several days passed. On July 13th, Robert went to the store to get groceries. Emma stayed outside painting. When he returned, Kathleen was gone. The doors hadn't been broken into. All her belongings were there. Phone, wallet, even her wedding ring. No notes, no sounds, no signs of a struggle. Police searched the whole neighborhood, even had divers search the lake. Nothing. But in the bedroom, there was a spiral drawn in lipstick on the mirror. Neither Robert nor Emma knew what it meant. Kathleen was never found. The husband became the prime suspect, but there was no evidence. He passed a polygraph and left town a year later. House number 17 was left empty. 12 years later, in 2014, local real estate agent Sarah Cole decided to prove that there was nothing wrong with the house. She rented it herself for a weekend to use for promotional photos and videos. Sarah has been active on social media. She has a blog where she has been posting vlogs and live vlogs. On Friday night, she posted a video of her drinking wine by the fireplace, doing a tour of the house and laughing. "Look, here's the mirror that woman disappeared from. Creepy, right?" The next morning, Sarah didn't get in touch. Her cell phone was not answering. Colleagues went to the place. Her car was parked in front of the house, but Sarah herself was not there. The doors were unlocked again. In the kitchen, a half-drunk cup of coffee. In the bedroom on the second floor, a new spiral drawn in red lipstick. Later, forensics found out it wasn't her lipstick, and there were no prints on the mirror at all. Security cameras, they weren't in the house. Sarah's phone was found under the bed, and the last recording is a strange voice file where she can be heard saying, "Wait, who's here? Is this some kind of joke?" Then a pop and silence. Sarah disappeared without a trace. Second woman, same room, same spiral. The investigation stalled again. But a year later, journalist Elise Merrick became interested in the case. She conducted her own investigation. Here's what she found. House 17 was built in 1957 on the site of an old boarding house that burned down in 1930. One woman died in the fire, Lillian Dale, a nurse who was rumored to have delivered babies illegally and performed abortions in secret from the authorities. She kept a diary, and a local historian found a burned fragment of it. In it was a drawing of a spiral and an inscription. "The spiral is a door. Whoever enters must stay. Whoever leaves must return." And here's the other thing. Both women, Kathleen and Sarah, were born on the same day, March 13th, and both were the second children in the family. Coincidence? Maybe. But there were too many coincidences. In 2021, 7 years after Sarah's disappearance, Eliza Merrick decided to spend the night in the house. She was sure that nothing would happen if she kept the cameras on all night. She took a team with her and set up tech throughout the house. The night went smoothly, but in the morning when they started reviewing the footage, one camera on the second floor turned off for 3 minutes. When it came back on, it showed the same spiral, but on the ceiling. And here's the scariest part. On the audio, they could hear breathing. Someone's fast, not hers. Elise left the house. She later confessed that she started having dreams where women were calling her name. She could hear their voices in the mirrors. She burned all her clothes from that night. Since then, house number 17 has stood empty again. In 2023, it was going to be demolished, but a worker died. He was found in the morning in the bathroom, where the walls were covered in spirals, scratched out with fingernails. The case remains unsolved. Both women have been reported missing. House number 17 has become a local legend. Even teenagers are afraid of it, although usually such places are their favorite. Sometimes locals say you can see a face in the second floor mirror, but not your own. And if you stare too long, it smiles back at you. Are you sure you're alone in the house?